The top 5 most overrated rides I've ridden. Number 5, Fast and Furious. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait, this ride is terrible. Everyone hates it. No, people don't hate it enough. It doesn't get enough crap. This ride is truly terrible. It is so bad. It is a disgrace that it exists. And the fact that it's there at Universal with the amount of money you spend to get into the park and the high standards that Universal has set, this ride is awful, and I know people who enjoy this ride. I know one person personally who says it's a good ride. I don't understand why. I have heard multiple people be like, yeah, I enjoy it. It's just a little short. No, this ride is awful, and it just got a sponsorship with Napa, so that means this ride's not going anywhere anytime soon. Number 5 for the most overrated ride because it's not hated enough. Number 4, Twisted Cyclone at Six Flags Over Georgia. Now, I do enjoy this ride. It's probably my favorite ride at Six Flags Over Georgia. It's either that or Goliath. Still, let's be honest, it's Twisted Cyclone. So my favorite ride at Six Flags Over Georgia is still overrated because although Rocky Mountain Construction does not make a bad ride, compared to other RMCs that I've done, this ranks at the bottom. And I hear people raving about it because they haven't experienced other RMCs. And the shortness definitely does play a factor. It's a good ride. It's an enjoyable ride. It is a fantastic ride in all honesty, but it's rated too high by a lot of people. The other thing that factors into this list is when you go to parks and you hear people who haven't gone to other parks, that kind of shapes how things are going. But people make this seem like it's the greatest thing ever. Unfortunately, it's not even close to the best RMC, and it's way too short. Number 3, Haunted Mansion. Expectations set happiness level. People told me it was going to be this fun, enjoyable ride. No, it isn't. It's kind of boring. The tricks are really rudimentary. It's showing its age, in my opinion. It's a long wait to ride, and every time I go on it, I'm like, why did I wait in that line to go ride this? And my wife loves this ride. I can't get into it. I know a lot of people love this ride. It's just boring and pointless to me, and far better things to be doing at Disney World. Number 2, Wild Eagle at Dollywood. The reason why this is number 2 is because I hear all the time people who go to Dollywood say it's the best ride ever. No, it's not the best ride at the park. That's Lightning Rod. But it's so boring in the second half. Absolutely nothing happens. It's like they lost the second half of the ride, and they were like, hey, let's just bend some track to make sure it gets back to the station. The first half is thoroughly enjoyable. But for the most part, wing coasters as a whole I have a flaw with because they don't have that many forces. And wing coasters are supposed to bring the element in because you're sitting on the outside and there's that near miss element, i.e. Gatekeeper at Cedar Point. This doesn't have that very much at all. And yeah, it's fun. But when people are like, oh my word, it's the greatest thing ever. No, it's not. Now let's go to our honorable mentions. I put Haunted Mansion at number 3 because every time I kept thinking of rides, all I could think of was Magic Kingdom rides, and I couldn't fill this list with all Magic Kingdom rides. Magic Kingdom as a whole is just the most overrated park ever. The rides in it are meant for little kids. I don't really care for Magic Kingdom. Yeah, there's a couple things that are fun and enjoyable, but it's way too busy. It's a pain to get into, and honestly, the rides just don't live up, so that's why it's an honorable mention. Another honorable mention, Millennium Force. I love this ride, and I am a reason why it's overrated. I understand any critique about how it doesn't have that much force, how it's dull and boring at times, and a lot of straight track and not much element. I don't care. I love this ride, especially at night when you're on the left side in the back row going down towards the row. When you hit a couple air pops, I get the criticism of it. But man, this ride will always rank high on my list, and that is why it's an honorable mention and not in the top 5 because I truly love it, but I understand why people think it's overrated. Kumba down in Tampa Bay Busch Gardens. I was told that this ride was going to be amazing. I was told that I was going to love this ride. My wife and I rode it several years ago back when we were still dating, and we both got off and went, wow, that was kind of a headbanger and didn't really do much. I love B&M. And this ride just disappointed. Now, I know it was an early B&M project, but I just didn't care for it, didn't get the excitement from it. And when I was told, hey, this may rank in your top 25, no, not even close. But number 1, no question. When I was going through the list and just looking through all the rides, I saw Rip Ride Rocket. I went, number one, the most overrated ride. The first time I ever rode this was several years ago, just after it opened up, and I didn't really know much about it. I just saw it was this music ride. You select the music. It looks like it's got speed. It looks like it's got inversions, and just this whole thrill element, and it did nothing. It's a headbanger and a headbanger for no reason. It's got this weird lift hill where you go up vertically but not down vertically. I don't understand the purpose of this ride. You never actually go upside down because of the way the track is twisted. And oh my word, talk about brake runs. You go to brake run, to brake run, to brake run, and you never pick up any speed. When you start to go, hey, this could be fun. Oh, look, there's another brake run. The only element of this ride that is enjoyable is the music concept with it, particularly for me, Muppets moving right along. But man, this ride is just, I do not care for it. I do not like it. Last two times I've gone to Universal, I just skipped it entirely. Plus, the capacity on it is awful, so you wait in line forever. So number one of the top 5 most overrated rides, no question, is Rip Ride Rocket. What do you guys think?